what's your take? Hi guys. I just wanted to give a bit more detail into the Matrix and go over certain points that I thought were crap, basically. So there were the themes, for example, the plot, the characters, the underlying message. I think those three main things I want to go over it, and an announcement that I'm gonna try and speak more in my YouTube channels. I mean, my YouTube channel is kind of just a little bit of an outlet for me. It's more of a creative thing, just getting used to making videos, GIFs and stuff like that. And I've used some of them in my work, just getting used to editing and stuff like that. So, sorry for my corny Tekken videos. But yeah, I just wanted to give like a more in-depth review of what I thought of The Matrix and how kind of terrible it was. So let's begin with the plot, like a brief synopsis. I guess. Okay, so like Neo, or Mr. Anderson, is back into the Matrix. He's a programmer, but in a different way. He's a programmer who made a game called Binary, which is basically the Matrix films in a computer game form. He's very famous in this world, and yeah, he still feels that he is, in an artificial world, but he's always, conflicted by it. And he meets another character called the Analyst, and the Analyst tells him he's not crazy, he's like a therapist. And he eventually gets out the Matrix, meets some rebels, a girl called Bugs, gets out of the Matrix, but then sees Trinity next to him, and he wants to get Trinity out. And he gets Trinity out, and well, he eventually convinces her, and he meets Agent Smith, and the story is so convoluted. I don't want to go all over the story. Watch it yourself. But he gets out and he does all that stuff. So the movie is quite simple, really, in its plot. It's a love story. He wants to get her out. He does, and things ensue. So the first thing, I guess, is that the plot is really simple. It's a love story, basically, and the first movies were, it was a love story in the first movies, but it was central to it, but it wasn't the main point of the movie. It was more kind of the theme of love was centralized with those two characters of Neo and Trinity, but it wasn't the main focus. It was kind of a focal point of the whole movie, that love is a concept that the machines could use, the humans could expand on and show the machines about what love can do, how love can enhance everybody. But in this movie, it's very specific to these two characters. It's very character focused on them two characters. But the movie, for me, in general, the plot is almost like a parody, like a comedy almost of the movies. There's lots of references to it. They even reference the Warner Brothers of making movies and stuff like that. And it's kind of off-putting. Like the first half an hour of the movie is about that, and I find it very kind of off-putting. I don't really know what to say about it, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it, like the director and the screenplay and the the dialogue was very meta, as they say. There's a theme about it being meta. They're kind of making fun of themselves in a way of the movie industry and sequels and all that kind of stuff. And the Matrix movies themselves. So I just found it really tiresome. The plot was just, it was just boring. It was really boring. There was no, I mean, I always compare it to the original movies, and a lot of people love the first one, and they kind of, kind of slightly, well, dislike the second and third. I like them all because I think, yeah, the first one, they, in my view, they had to make kind of a movie that's very formulaic, that people will understand. I mean, that people will like instantly, because they needed to get funding for the next movies. If they didn't make a good first movie, how can they continue their story? I'm sure they had an idea of how to expand it, but I think many people get confused by, the second and third movies. People say, "Oh, it's convoluted." It's not. It's a very, they had a very philosophical, I think, story and gameplay and plan for these movies, with the themes that they were bringing in. There was a very simplified in the first one, and the first one is about choice. The second one is about the illusion of choice, and then the third one is really about making. I don't know. It's the third one. What is the third one about? I don't know, but I like them. I like all the themes, the little meta themes. It was packed full of them, and I think that was their masterpiece, really. And it was, kind of a genie in a bottle. This story of the Matrix. So, making a fourth movie, I think, was not a good idea in my view. But they tried. But yeah, genuinely, the plot is crap. What was the second thing else? Oh, the characters. The characters. Obviously, the main characters are Trinity and Neo. But I really do feel they just look tired to me. Look tired. They look like it just looked like they didn't want to be there, man. It was Keanu Reeves not really a good actor anyway. Just whoa. And Trinity, like, she for me, she was a supporting character. She's not a co-character. She was supporting Neo. Neo is the main character, but for some reason they wanted to really highlight her, and I don't know why. And there's a lot of wokeness in this movie, like I don't know. It just felt like it was some kind of agenda they were trying to put in, or a box to tick that she has to be highlighted for these day and age wokeness message. So yeah, it just felt really convoluted. There's the new Morpheus. I didn't really feel anything about him. I just felt, yeah, he's just a stand-in because Lawrence Fishburne didn't want to do it, and I don't blame him. And then there's the new, one of the best antagonists in a lot of movies, Agent Smith, but replaced by another guy. I can't remember his name, but the way that they used all the same lines and everything like that, it was just corny. It was really bad. It was okay, but the new characters, the Bugs girl, I think she was okay, but I don't know. I didn't feel any connection to the characters like I did in the first one. Even the first one, with like the I can't remember what the name is, Switch in the first movie, the girl who looks androgynous, she looks like a boy, and not like this. I love that, like, when she gets plugged out by Cypher and she dies. But even then, you remember those characters, but these characters you could forget, like all the heroes, I guess. So yeah, it was just convoluted and crap. But yeah, for the characters, I just felt a little bit of connection, nostalgia to the Trinity and Neo, but everyone else, it's very forgettable. As for the action, as I said before, my first video, they the action scenes in the first movies were directed, choreographed by Yong Woon Ping, and he's done a lot of kung fu movies in the past, movies with Jet Li and Donnie Yen. Very experienced and accomplished choreographer. And when I heard about him doing the Matrix movies, I was really happy that he was doing that. But they didn't have him this time. I think Lana Waskowski or whatever her name, she did all the action scenes and everything, and you can tell that it was crap. I mean, you couldn't see any of the action. The camera was too close. In the first one, you could see every movement, every action, everything was directed with detail, choreographed with detail, and that was one of the main things I really liked about the Matrix, is the attention to detail, especially within the action, and the action kind of told the story as well. It's a spectacle, but it kind of showed, the way they did the fight scenes. It showed that character's personality. For example, Trinity was very kind of like a phoenix. She always did that kind of like crane style. What's his name? Morpheus was very kind of wushu. Wushu is like Shaolin style, and like Neo was kind of a mix of everything, because he was the one, obviously. But there's none of that here. It's very generic, very kind of shaky cam, very crap. Overall, the themes, there's no themes in this. There's no kind of underlying message, any like real meta. Like the first one's about philosophy and of different, countries, like Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy, psychology, all these kind of things. It's void of it. I guess it's a commentary about our current society, and we're kind of stuck in our own little matrices in our heads or with our phones and stuff. But the message is kind of lost within its crappiness. That's all I can say. But yeah, I just wanted to give a bit of more detail of why I did like this movie, because you can tell the directors didn't want to do this. They didn't want to do this because they already cussed the Warner Brother company in the beginning, and you can see, we're living in a days of reboots and reshoots and sequels for to make money, and it's a real shame, really. It's a real shame. But if you from the start realize that this is kind of a parody, almost a comedy of the Matrix franchise, and I think you could enjoy it and see what Lana is trying to do. She wants to end this. She wants to end the story. The story did end, and I think they should leave it as that. But it's a shame. Anyway, future videos I'm gonna try to speak more about other various topics I'm interested in. For example, I don't know, just my thoughts on loads of things. I'll make a list. But okay, take care of yourself. Thank you for listening, and talk to you soon.